Yeah, thank you so much. So I'm in this industry for 27 years now. Since 10 years I'm with EP, and since the 1st of January I'm VP Automation, fully responsible for bringing the EP automation solutions into Europe. Yeah, right, it's been quite a journey. I know EP since the company was producing 7,000 units. I joined the company when we were at 40,000 units, and last year we did around 300,000 pieces of warehouse equipment. And the big breakthrough was, first of all, in 2012, when EP invented a simple electric pallet truck, and then in 2016 with the lithium-ion battery. And with that technology, we bring all the people from manual equipment to electric equipment. And today with automation, we want to bring everybody from electric equipment to automatic equipment. We want to make material handling greener and more simple. The greener part we have seen in the recent updates on our factories, with the hydrogen power, the solar power. We have a full focus on electric. We produce our own lithium-ion batteries. And recently, of course, the rebuild factory, where we rebuild and recycle forklift trucks. So that's the greener part. And the second part of our mission, of our company mission, is to make material handling more simple. Like we said before, making from manual material moving to electric material moving. And doing these things automatically, of course, is the logical next step. And automation always has been a very complicated thing, has been a very high-level thing for the high-level companies. And with our philosophy, with our constant push to make things more simple, we are now at the breakthrough of making automation available for everybody. Or as the VDMA in Germany says it, robots for all. So by making it more simple, we make automation possible to do it faster, to do it more easy, and especially with that we make automation available for everybody. At this moment we have a much more global thinking suddenly than we ever had before, and we're making a lot of thoughts on the competitive position of Europe suddenly. I think the focus on Europe has never been bigger than it is at this moment, and we should really make a plan for who we want to be and what we want to do. We cannot rely longer on us as a country alone, or rely on some kind of big brother that is somewhere available. We need to make a plan and we need to push through. And when we talk about the topic of greener, I think China has put more solar panels in the field in 1 year than we already had as an existing base, installed base in Europe. And the same we see with automation. The level of automation in Asia is incredible. Moving goods automatically has become the new paradigm, the new dogma. We move goods in our factory by default with automatic equipment. And when you look at the global economy, the things that are happening, we must make a plan and we must invest in automation. If we look at our customers, for example, everybody complains about the lack of workforce on the one hand. Everybody complains about inflation, about increasing prices. My hairdresser haircut is costing 30 euros now, a beer is costing 4 euros. How am I going to afford that with my same level of productivity that I had a year ago? So with automation, we can solve that problem of lack of workforce on the one hand. With automation, we can also solve that gap of productivity. We must invest in automation for these two main reasons. And overall, we must invest in automation to stay competitive in Europe. Number one, the customer doesn't know what he wants. There's often the perception, people out, robots in, and the robot will be magic and everything will run automatically, which is not true. Secondly, the supplier, under the pressure of the high investments that have been done in R&D, the high investments that have been done in building up an organization, and the high investments that have been done of the long time to develop a technology, the pressure to make sales is huge. So the supplier will never stop to make promises and say yes. Especially when you have a bunch of, let's say, logistics solutions, software engineers behind you, they always see a solution to solve things by software. So the supplier overpromises. And the third problem why automation fails is that neither of these two can make a good picture of how the future will look like. We tend too much to want to automate what we see. We tend too much wanting to automate what a human being does without rethinking how we can really change things. So the landscape of automation is facing these three problems, and the top level companies on the top of the pyramid somehow manage to handle things. They have a multi-million euro budget, they have big internal teams, they talk to suppliers with big teams, they hire an external consultant which will help them, and for a few million euros you can automate something. Fantastic. But the challenge we have, or the opportunity that we have at this moment with all the new investments in new technologies, in AI, in more low-cost sensors, is to make automation available for the big mass market. And this way we can start with automation much more easily. So it doesn't need to take a year to get something running. I always say we supply our truck from stock. If you order today, you can already drive automatically next week. So we can do things much faster, to much lower cost, implement into a brownfield and just get started. And then see what happens. And then develop the next levels of functionality together. Secondly, to let people and robots work together. Instead of people out robots in, make a mix. Because people are always smarter and always better and always more flexible to solve solutions. You need to make a mix of automation and people in this big mass market. Thirdly, as a next level, and this is where, we'll talk about it later I think, but where with EP we are also going to solve this third problem. So none of the parties have an idea how the warehouse of the future will look like. With the new technologies that we have and the new solutions, we need to keep thinking on how we can really change the way we handle goods in our warehouses. So that is changing in the automation landscape at this moment. So by doing things, by starting pragmatically, by just throwing in a standard solution first, and by doing that quickly, we get a lot of quick feedback. So we just brought 150 EXPs into the market, a simple entry-level automatic driving pallet truck. And we just let people play with it and try it and feel it. And then we get feedback and then we improve something, and in June 29 there will be some upgrades and new versions, and step by step we learn together with the customer, and we grow into this level of automation together. That's one part. The second part which we do is that we use our own factory as a playground. EP is active with automation already for a period of over 10 years. We have 150 people in R&D. But the interesting part of the whole game is that we have our own automatic factory. We have the most modern factory in the forklift industry, I think, where we produce a big part of our 300,000 machines. And this factory, all the material moving is completely automated. And this is our playground for new technologies. This is the playground for the R&D, for the new products. And when these things mature, then we bring it to our suppliers, we bring it to our customers, and then step by step we bring the things to Europe. When you say customer first, the good thing is we are our own customer. And in the second tier we have our own suppliers, internal, external suppliers, who also connect with us. So by being our own customer and by just practicing as we go, we can learn faster and better and more practical. There's three levels of automation. The level one of automation is just point A to point B transport. Simple. I just mentioned our EXP model. It's a simple automatic driving pallet truck. Ideally, there's one guy on in the workstation. He picks up a pallet, he sends away the pallet truck comes back empty, and just simple A to B transport. The second level of automation is what we call a mode level or a task level. So for a specific area or a specific task, there's a specific a robot, a specific automatic pallet truck or whatever, doing a specific task, which can be bring goods from the warehouse to production or from production to the warehouse, can be a truck which just runs a sushi bar with waste containers, can be a truck operating in a warehouse alone, but this mode level is one step up from the product level. We go into the mode level, and this mode level is one truck, one task. Now the third level is what you call this system integration, which we call from EP side the intelligent systems. And this is where at EP we work with our DAS system, a digital autonomous system. And there we connect the truck and the data. And if you look at our Anji factory, which I just mentioned, which is fully automated, we also have a complete digital twin where we completely follow all the machines but also all the goods. And there's a nice video on YouTube on how the concept works, but roughly it means that the goods come in, have a QR code, the inbound area gets a message that a pallet has arrived, a pallet truck comes and picks it up. When picking up, he reads a QR code. By the QR code, he knows what goods should be in there. He lifts it with weighing forks, so he knows exactly, he has an inbound check, he knows what should be in there, and he knows what's in there, so he can do an inbound check on the amount. Then he brings the pallet into buffer storage. From buffer storage, it goes into daily storage, and then it goes into the workstations. And by following all these pallets and all these boxes and all these goods through the factory, we don't have anymore the separation between inbound, warehouse, production, but every pallet location is a warehouse on its own. And this is what we call warehouse at anywhere. It's not a specific dedicated warehouse anymore. Every pallet is a warehouse. And secondly, by changing the way we store these goods, we say, okay, throw out all the racking. Just imagine, in a lot of production companies, half the company size is determined by storage. And we can reduce storage space by 40% when we throw out the rackings and we put everything in block stacking. And then I get to my third reason of why automation fails. We are making a completely new concept on how we move and store goods. Because with people driving trucks, this would be a completely unlogical way to store and handle goods. But when automatic pallet trucks are storing things in bulk, they don't care if they need to do an extra Tetris shuffle. So they just put everything in bulk, and based on either pushing into production or by pulling from production to the warehouse, the goods are being placed where they need to be, they go into production. And by making all the pallet movements transparent and predictable, and then as a second layer, even connecting our suppliers to it, we have a complete new ecosystem on how we move and store goods and how we manage inventory and how we do that. So our digital autonomous system makes the extra layer of data on it, which allows us to drive this warehouse at anywhere concept where every pallet location is a warehouse on its own. In line with this technology that we now have, I say I'm in this industry now for 27 years. I did my business administration study before, and since that time, the Japanese just-in-time production system has been the most famous production system there is. Everybody knows about just-in-time production. But this system has a few very big flaws in it. And these flaws we solve with our warehouse at anywhere concept. So the EP equipment way of manufacturing with the warehouse at anywhere philosophy, with a digital autonomous system, allows a complete new way to think about production logistics, about storage, about connecting and being one system with your suppliers. So the intelligent automation with all the data and the AI models that we can build and the types of machines that we have and the way we store goods, we can completely redesign the way people think about production, logistics and storage. And that's the big breakthrough which we will see in the next few years. In the meantime, we have our simple entry-level products. In the meantime, we can start automation today in a brownfield operation. And the interesting thing with this is we put our navigation systems on standard trucks. I just said we produce 300 normal warehouse trucks already. So we use a normal warehouse truck and we put our automation system step by step, the different layers on top of it. So we can start today with automating point to point. We can start today by giving robots certain tasks, and step by step, together with our customers, we will grow into this new concept of production logistics.